All right, ladies and gentlemen, at the risk of sounding like that guy AVE, a treat especial for you. Removal of the 509T and the installation of the Steiner. I don't know, I might have to do some time-lapse photography because I think that I could indeed run afoul of some YouTube things. So I don't want to cause too much of a stir, although there's only like 4 of you guys watching this, so I don't know that it would cause that much of a stir. Not that one. Also not that one. Maybe. Still loose. I'm going to have to get the other set of bits. This is likely to be not super exciting, so for that reason alone, I will probably time-lapse some of this. All right. Nope. Almost. There we go. Guys, this 509T, I like it quite a bit. I'm not really taking it off because I dislike it, for the record. Just taking it off because time to try something different. And while I'm taking it off, let's see how much this thing weighs. 2.2. So it's slightly heavier than the Steiner. Curious. Now the real question is, will these come loose easily? Not easily, but not bad. Now your second question, I did not use Vibratite on these screws. I know CH Precision says to use Vibratite. I have personally had Vibratite come loose at this point, I want to say 3 times. Yeah, about 3 times. Not my favorite stuff, guys. I will tell you that at this point, I do not use Vibratite for pistol optics. I know there's a bunch of people out there, including CH. They're like, oh, no, use Vibratite. I mean, they include it with their plates. I don't do that. I think that if you barely shoot, then you can use anything and it won't cause any issues. This I know for a fact. I think if you do a lot of shooting, that Vibratite will, sooner or later, it'll come loose on you. And if you want to dismount everything, remount everything, that's cool. Like, I'm not saying you can't do that, but it's not something I want to do. And I saw some Vibratite come loose earlier this week. So that tells me right there kind of everything that I need to know about Vibratite. Like I said, your mileage may vary. I should save this. I think I'll put it back with the 509, probably in the 509 box, so that later if I want to remount that, I can. Let's see. So that's going to sit just like that. And the MPS will sit on it just like so. All right, test fit seems to work good. I always like to test fit things for obvious reasons. I'm probably going to put some blue Loctite on the crossbar, even though I'm sure some people will be like, no, none of that. Anyways, guys, I'm going to end the video here before I actually start screwing anything together. And I will start it again once things are mostly together so that I'm not showing you how to install things. Ooh, back in a bit. Hey, so before I forget, whenever you're putting stuff like this together, make sure you witness mark that stuff. That way when you're pulling things apart later and you want to find out if they have slid, you can very easily determine if that is the case. So that's important. And use the correct torque spec. That's important too. Anyways, see you again in a second. All right, guys, there's the finished product. I got to tell you, this sight sits so low with the CH plate that I think I could use standard height sights. I don't think I need suppressor height sights for this frickin' optic. I'm going to do some measurements in a little bit and come back to it. But man, this is surprising how low this thing is. I don't know if I can catch the dot through the camera. Maybe, yeah. In the background, you can hear my wife yelling at the dog. Yeah, this is amazing how much window and how low this thing sits. Slightly lighter than the 509, and I don't hate the 509. One thing I will tell you though about this optic is the O-ring on this battery door is no joke. I had to set this flat and bear down on this so that it would evenly contact the threads to screw it in, because hand screwing it in or even gently doing it wasn't getting it. So if you get one of these, you're definitely going to want to be careful with the battery door. But it doesn't look bad. Also, I know this plate doesn't exactly fill in. It's like designed for the Acro, not for the Steiner. Rumor has it that C&H is going to make a specific plate for the MPS. It's just still in the beginning stages of being put together, prototype at this time. But man, thus far, I don't hate it, guys. I want to get a chance to shoot it some in the next, I don't know, 3 to 5 days. So impressions to follow, but installation was not bad. It's pretty easy. Talk to you soon, guys. All right, here is the deal. I haven't spent a lot of time with this optic yet, but I've gotten a few impressions. One, I was fortunate enough to be able to do a side-by-side comparison with this in terms of maximum brightness versus the Holosun 509T, an Acro P1, and an Acro P2. And the Acro P2 was the most bright. On its brightest setting, it was the most bright. This was second. The Acro P1 was third, and the 509T was fourth in that set of comparisons. If max brightness doesn't matter to you, then maybe it's not a thing. But I tend to run my optics pretty bright. I need to be able to see that dot in all lighting conditions. Broad daylight with the sun at all different angles. And if the weapon light is engaged or a handheld light is engaged, I need to be able to see that dot. If there is no light and the dot is exceptionally bright, that's okay. If I have to do any sort of shooting, I can just put it in the middle with both eyes open and still get to work. I can still see that dot under those conditions. Whereas if it's dim, there are other lighting conditions that could wash that dot out. So I run mine pretty bright, and having that max brightness is a thing. So I like that. It does indeed fit the Acro plate. This is a CHPWS Acro plate. There's supposedly, I think I mentioned it in one of the other cuts of this, a MPS specific plate coming from CHPWS, but not needed. This screws right to it. I got a quick 10-yard zero on this thing, super fast. Didn't have time to do anything really fine, but it was a good enough for government work zero because I'm pretty busy right now. And the adjustments on this are tactile, like you can really feel the clicks. Some other optics that I've played with, that was not the case. This has that tactility, which is probably not a real word, when it comes to the adjustments for elevation and windage. I liked it a lot. As you can probably tell, the sights that I have on this gun, they're too tall. I'm going to order, or have ordered, some from Continuous Precision that are slightly lower. They fall into the same height as, I think, the Night Vision optic height sights and the ones that CHPWS makes. They're all about 290, 295-ish when it comes to the heights. The ones from Overwatch Precision are like 390, 395. So good, you're going from, I guess if this is 100% down to 75% of this height for any of those others out there. I do like these sights for the HoloSun 509T and also for the HoloSun 507C and 407C. So I would keep these for one of those, but for the Steiner that has a much bigger window, but also a lower window, I think these sights are way too much. So I don't like it for that. The glass, I mentioned it before. If you look really, really close, you can see a little bit of blue filter, but there's not a lot of it. It is clearer, especially than the Trijicon RMR. If you're used to that optic, this does not seem to have that. The adjustments for the brightness are very tactile and they are not easy to bump. It does have a lockout feature, which I played with, but I'll tell you, owing to how difficult it is to bump these buttons and how positively you have to push them to get them to work, I don't know that I'm going to bother locking this out. On my 509T, I always lock it out. So I get it to the brightness I want and lock it out. I may start playing with that on this, but thus far I've seen no need to do it. If this has any way to defeat the 13-hour shutoff, I can't find it. So I'm thinking I just got one where it's 13 hours and 13 hours is what it is. Much like my old RMR back in the day, every time I'd pick that gun up before putting it on to go to work, I would have to up adjust the brightness because it would down adjust automatically after a certain amount of time. So for this one, I'll probably end up, when I'm coming home and putting this in a drawer, just turning the optic off. And then when I'm getting ready to go to work, I'll just turn it back on. For a forgetful individual, this could punish you. So I kind of caution you with that. If you're one of those people that is wearing a gun every day, you'll want to do your, I guess, pre-flight checklist where you check for the dot, make sure it's there, and if not, then adjust it appropriately. But thus far, I'm liking this optic. It is early. I mean, I've had this thing for only a handful of days, and I might have shot 20 or 30 rounds downrange with this. Unfortunately, my ability to do lunchtime practice when I have a shooter that is struggling kind of goes away. I usually end up giving them that lunchtime, so my ability to play with this over the next several days may not even be there. Hopefully, I end up with a group of shooters that's a little more even keel, and that'll give me the opportunity to do some lunchtime drills. I might even get crazy and film them, but thus far, I like this optic. I paid $430 for it from B&H Photo. It was drop shipped directly from the manufacturer, so it was not in stock with them, and I waited 5 weeks for it. So just be aware, if you go down that road, that's kind of the time frame you're looking at. It was still $20-some cheaper than anywhere else, and I think it's kind of the same deal where if I had ordered it from anywhere else, I would have paid $450 and still waited 5 weeks. So, and that, by the way, puts it in the same ballpark as a lot of other optics and cheaper than some. Obviously, it's cheaper than the Acro, which is $600. Do I think the Acro is worth, $150, $170 more than this? From what I'm seeing right now, no. I might change my mind after a few thousand rounds downrange, but thus far, I like it. I think the Steiner MPS is a good optic. I know Aaron Cowan has said the same thing, and obviously, if there was somebody who is inclined to destroy an optic, that would be him, and I think his is still running, so that's good news as well. Anyways, guys, I'll probably post an update, but it's going to be months down the road when I actually get a lot of rounds on this thing, see if there are any issues whatsoever. I don't anticipate there will be. Thus far, I like it. Anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I hope that this video was fun and informative, showing you kind of some of the inner machinations of getting an optic on a pistol. As always, if you would, please like, subscribe, comment, share with your friends, and I appreciate it, guys. Stay safe, and I'll talk to you soon.